Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me. I'm so glad you guys are here. A lot of you guys have been asking me about relationships, and I haven't had time to actually do any videos lately because I've been working on a lot of stuff myself. As I said in the previous video, I had to do the IWFFA Women's Flag Football Tournament. Plus, it was the new year and all sorts of stuff. So I apologize for not being able to do this video right away, but I have some time today, so I'm doing a bunch of videos, and I'm going to talk about relationships. Re- Plain and simple, to start off, relationships are all relationships are karmic bonds. And what that means is that every specific relationship that you have has a reason and a karmic tie to it. So it doesn't matter whether it's romantic, family, friendships, even people that you don't get along with. Everything is all karmic connection. And these people are a lot of times a part of your soul groups, your soul family, and they exist because they are in relation to whatever lessons that you're meant to learn. So in short, there are some people here that I always say that there are some to teach you, some that you have to repay debt to, and some even come in and out of your life to help you, to give you advice, to steer you in a different direction, and then poof, they're gone. And some are here to even help you resolve your own issues. But regardless of whatever kind of relationship it is, it always has a karmic tie to it. And so I always tell people this: if you're in a relationships aren't for you to be happy. They're not for you to bring joy, to have marriage, to have kids, etc. Yes, that does keep the world going. Yes, that does keep the reason why we're here. But every relationship you have is for a specific reason. So in the beginning, we choose everything about us. We choose all of our everything, who we are, our struggles, our challenges, our everything that's going to happen to us. And I know a lot of people struggle with that. They always think that there's some God out there that's created you and gave you your children and gave you, but that is not it at all. Your children were chosen to you from them, and you agreed upon it. You agreed upon with your parents and your brothers and sisters and relatives. Everything that you have in your life is not from a God, but from you and other versions of yourself, choosing yourself as a soul, choosing yourselves as a way of karmic ties to fill out missions and purposes. So what that means is that if me as a soul, because remember, we don't have a soul, we are a soul. So if me as a soul chooses that I have to learn certain lessons. So I chose my adoptive parents. I chose my adopted sister. I chose my relatives. I chose to come in at this specific time with these people and learn specific things. It wasn't done by a God. It wasn't done by anybody else but us. We agreed because as the lessons that I needed to learn in order to develop into the person I am today, I chose my parents because those people, whatever lessons they had, fit with my lessons that I needed to learn. So at this point in time, I said to my parents, who became my parents, I won't say their names, but I said, hey, I have to learn these lessons. You guys are incarnating at this time, and you guys are this way, and that way will teach me certain things. And with the person that became my sister, etc., we all agreed that this is what's going to happen. And so we volunteered. We said, okay, hey, if you're gonna be my parents, I'll be the daughter, and this is what we're gonna go through. These are the ups and downs, the challenges that we're gonna go through, and this is the lessons that I need from you guys in order to support my personal growth. Now, when we're here, we don't always see it that way. We either take that we have loving parents or mean parents or unfitting parents or parents that weren't there or parents that were too smothering, whatever the lessons is. But whatever the situation is with your family and brothers and sisters included, and your children, your husband, wife, etc., everything there is a contract. And this is something that we truly have to get. And I'm going to reiterate, there is no God that is creating this, because we are in charge of everything that we experience here in this dimension. Remember, the third dimension is not real. It's a dream. It's an illusion. It's a holographic projection of our consciousness. It's kind of like when you go to sleep, you dream of another world, right? Where you're doing all this other stuff and it seems real at the time. But then when you wake up, you realize, oh, yeah, that was just a dream. This is who I really am. This is what's really going on. Well, it's the same way that what we're experiencing right now. We're inside the dream, and what we call our higher selves, which is our true selves, is in a way kind of asleep, and we're experiencing this reality. So everything is done by us. Everything is created by us. Everything is structured so that we choose our roles. And I want to say that and people have a hard time with this, because I want to talk about difficult relationships, because some are easy relationships, some are fun, some are difficult, but the most difficult relationships that you'll ever experience are the most spiritually important to your growth. And I know that sucks, because a lot of people say, oh, I wish I never met this person. Oh, I wish I never ran into, or wish I never dated. I wish I never had this person as my brother or sister or whatever. But the truth is those people, if you allow it to, are going to be the strongest teachers. They're going to teach you the most that you need to learn to grow. And that's why you chose them. You chose them specifically to be at odds with you, so that it's a reflection of what you need to work on through your spiritual self, so that you as a soul can grow. Because that's what this is all about, right? It's just a school. It's just a school of learning. It's no different than when you go to school, whether you're in high school, grade school, or college. You take specific classes to teach you to grow, so that you can evolve as a person and you can become knowledgeable one day when you're older, and you can go out in the world and become whoever you're meant to be. It's the same thing. We're in a school that we're working through, we're being taught, and our teachers are everyone around us. And to people that are unconscious and unaware, we take it personally. We say, well, this person did this to me, or why is God punishing me, or why is the universe punishing me? Those are people that truly don't understand the truth about what's really going on. The people that really do say, okay, this is a challenge and I'm really frustrated right now. I really am, and I want to choke this person, but what is this person really showing me? What is this person really teaching me? And I got to be honest with you, and I'm going to use my personal life, and I won't get into it, but me and my roommate Caleb have been having a very hard time for the last couple of years with to the point where we no longer have a friendship. We no longer have any association whatsoever. We live together, and that's about it. We very rarely speak. And the reason for that is because the challenges that we both face with each other have become so great that one of us is working on us and the other one has chosen not to. So when that dynamic shifted, when one of us chose, hey, okay, what is this going to teach me? What is this going to teach me? And the other one said, well, it's all your fault, or whatever's going on, and start blaming everybody but themselves. What happens is that dynamic changes. And I won't get into details because it's personal and everything like that. But that dynamic changes, and it creates separation, and that creates chaos and trauma in life. And that's what usually happens with people, right? Because one of us in the friendship or relationship or whatever, or maybe both of us, sit there and point the finger at the other person. Well, and maybe some of us say, well, and maybe some of us take the blame for everything. We don't know. But whatever the situation is, the most difficult ones are always there to teach us. And I'll be honest with you, Caleb has taught me a lot about myself. He really helped me through a lot of trauma in my past of abuse, and helped me feel safe again around men. It was really challenging for a while, and there was a lot. And even though we're not speaking, even though a lot of things have happened, and that there is a lot of things that because we have fought so much, that he has taught me. And I've learned to be kinder, more compassionate again. I've learned to be more tolerant of people's differences, because as a child, I was taught to be kind of tough and rough and not, and just push through and not accepting. And it was a really rough thing. So there's a lot of things that become out of that. And so we have to realize that the most difficult relationships are our most difficult challenges, whether we get divorced, whether we don't get along with our sisters or brothers or aunts or uncles, whatever it is, those who have harmed us, or those who we disagree with, or those we don't get along with, those experiences are to teach you how to find a resolution within ourselves, not with the other person, but within ourselves, to find forgiveness and release. And I don't always mean forgive the other people, like you're always perfect and they're not. But what I mean by forgiveness is the understanding of the difference of the perspectives of both parties. That's what forgiveness really is. And that is the understanding of the forgiveness, of the understanding of the differences between both parties, and release that. And that's one of the greatest things that happened, because no matter how difficult things got with Caleb and I, no matter how difficult things have got with my sister and I, or whoever and stuff, I learned to release that. I learned to say, you know what? I forgive myself because I understand myself in those situations. I forgive that person because I understand that, and that's what really relationships are all about. And not all relationships are meant to last, and this is the hardest part, because we always want to find that one person, that one soulmate, that one forever person, especially romantically, or those friends. We're supposed to last forever. And I've told people this many times, and people get bummed out, that a lot of relationships, friendships are never meant to last. Remember, people come into your life to match you at a specific time. They match you, your energy, your thought patterns, your wave. And when one of the two people or both of them grow and no longer need each other, they go on their separate paths. And that doesn't make either one of them right or wrong or good or bad, because remember, there's no such thing. But you came together to teach yourselves at a specific point, and then when those lessons are no longer needed, it's time to move on. And that's the shift that must happen. That's why I never become attached and never been attached to people. And I know a lot of people throughout my life have had a hard time with that. Some people that are no longer friends of mine are mad at me because they think I just threw them aside, but it wasn't that. It was just that at one point we shared moments, we shared a lot of great moments, and then as I grew and evolved, if they chose to stay the same and not evolve, I had to leave because I had other things to do and other paths. Now, I still love everyone dearly. I really do. I think about every single one of them often. But that does not take away from that I have to choose me and my path. And just like you have to choose you and your path. And so remember that not all relationships, whether it's friendship, romantic, family, even, are meant to last forever. They're meant to trigger awakenings, teach lessons, shift your path, and that's about it. And once the karmic lesson has been learned, you move on. If you haven't, then even if you separate, you're going to attract the next person that's just like that. And how many of us always say, well, I keep dating the same guy, or I keep dating the same girl, I keep running into the same type of friends that undervalue me. That's because you haven't learned the lesson. And even though you separated from that person, your soul says, hello, you still haven't learned this lesson, so I must now attract the same thing over and over and over until you finally say, enough, I've had enough of this. And I'm going to learn my lesson. I'm going to stop being this version of myself and grow and take what I can and evolve so that I no longer have to learn this lesson. And patterns will keep repeating. It's the thing I see the most. I see so many people talk about how awake they are and how evolved they are. And in the moment something happens in their relationships or life, man, they crumble and they're asking for prayers and I need likes and I need attention. I need all this stuff. And I see so many people doing that. They run right out to the world. Gimme, gimme, gimme. I need attention. I need support. I need all this stuff. I need, and that because they haven't evolved enough to release their patterns. And that's why so many people are abandoned over and over, or betrayed over and over, or they have codependency over and over, because it's a constant pattern of repeating. I don't even think repetition is a word. I don't know. That was my dyslexic. But we have to remember that at the end of it all, love is the final lesson. And I don't mean, oh, let's love everybody and the kumbaya, you know, rainbows and sunshine type of love that spirituality teaches. I don't mean that. What I mean is that we understand, to finish the karmic lesson, that we have to come to an understanding of what it's taught us. That is the true form of love, is understanding your own existence and self-awareness of seeing everything and saying, wow, this is just what I'm experiencing. I'm experiencing this so that I can understand. And that's what really love is. It has no attachment. It's not about a true unconditional love, and that will come and be a part of it, but it's not a part of that. It's what I've learned through this experience. And that's why the older souls like us don't have relationships, don't have a lot of friends, if any. I at this point in time, I don't have any friends that I actually hang out with. Nobody calls me. This phone never rings, nothing, unless it's business or somebody wants something or somebody needs something. But as far as that, I don't have anybody left on my Facebook anymore. I think I have like 5 people left on my Facebook. And that's the thing, is I had to evolve, because we're taught that if by a certain age you have to have relationships, friends, family, kids, all this stuff, and everyone says, oh, Raina, you don't have a relationship and you don't have kids, you're missing out. No, I'm not, because I don't have attachments. I don't need a relationship because I don't have any karma to fill. I don't need friends because I don't have any karma to fill. I don't need lessons from people because I have evolved to a certain point where I don't need those things in my life to teach me anything. And so every person out there with a romantic relationship, no matter how good and wonderful it seems, no matter how many years you've been together, and that is for a karmic lesson. If you have kids, you're here for karma, and so are they. And so you will keep continuing to do the incarnations. And remember, we really don't incarnate. It's all illusion. We don't really die or incarnate. It's all illusion. It's just like when you fall asleep and dreaming, you're not really dying and awakening and then being born. But when as long as you keep having friendships and relationships and children and all that, your soul says, I am contracted to karma, and I am here to release this. And I have to learn until I release this. So, all right, guys, this is a very long video, so I'm going to end it here. If you guys have any more questions, maybe I'll do some follow-up videos or anything. But again, that in its nutshell is all about relationships. Have a great week.